It's your friend Rick. It is December the 21st, 2018. It's a Friday morning at Eastern Standard Time, 8:23. So, which means by the time this video is posted, all my friends who work for these child support scammers will be watching my video or hitting dislike. I only get dislikes from those people, or a couple of people that don't like me. But I notice that whenever I post a video on the weekend, I don't get any dislikes. It's only during working hours. If you want to call what they do work, by using trickery to destroy people's lives. And they think they're so powerful. But today's video is going to be one of those videos where I'm going to show you guys that the trickery that they use, I'm not going to show you, doesn't apply to you. It may apply to some of you, but not most of us. Okay, so you're going to reach out to me, and I don't understand how this keeps happening. But let me say this, please. It's not a big deal, but let me just say, I only try to help people who are dealing with child support. Okay, not traffic situations, arrest situations, any of that stuff. I don't do that. Okay. Also, I do not speak on the phone with anybody. Okay. It's just a policy that I've had. Okay. Not that I don't want to speak to you. It's just, a lot of people want to speak with me. Okay. And a quick conversation always turns into 45 minutes of people telling me what happened, and I get it. It's a long story. I get it. I have a long story myself. A lot of you are tired of hearing my story too. I repeat it on here all the time. It's my channel, and I always get new subscribers. Okay? Please keep the email brief, right to the point. No long emails, please. My email is rick, R-I-C-K, 0327 at me.com. It will be in the description. Okay? Also, in order to receive my paper, you got to send a gift. Okay? It's understood. And it may be a lot of money to you what you're dealing with. Okay? But let me explain it to you. A fair price, if I was asking, would be what you're paying monthly. I could just say, all right, what are you paying monthly? Okay, that's what you need to send me. All right, but I don't do that. All right, I only ask one price. It's under $200. All right, that's the gift that I ask for. It's not a lot of money for what you're going through. So with that in mind, if you're going to be one of these people asking me, how many people have you won with, or what are my chances? I'm not going to help you, okay? Because you're telling me that you don't know what's going on, all right? All of the people that use my paperwork who've submitted it and the paperwork is dismissed, they know it's not because of me. The peoples are fighting harder because they realize the corruption and the fight that they're in. Okay, a lot of people are, Rick, you're right. That's unbelievable. That's what it is. That's why I cannot guarantee anything, and that's why I don't have more victories than I have. Okay, but it's not because of my paperwork, and it's not for a lack of trying. I am always looking for a way to help us. And I found this yesterday. Sometimes it's right in front of our eyes, and I'm going to show it to you. Okay, so what are we looking at here? We're looking at 42 USC 659. Consent by United States to income withholding, garnishment, and similar proceedings for enforcement of child support and alimony obligations. That sounds like what we're dealing with, right? Child support hearings. Why do you need the consent by the United States? How does that apply to us? Well, it doesn't. This only applies if the United States is your employer. Okay? So, 659, all right? Okay. Notwithstanding any provisions of law, including Section 407 of this 42, that's Social Security Act, Section 5301, Title 38. We'll get to that. All right. Effective 1975, which is based upon remuneration, which is wages for employment due from or payable by, right, the United States or the District of Columbia, including any agency, subdivision, or instrumentality thereof to any individual, including members of the armed forces of the United States, shall be subject in like manner and to the same extent as if the United States or the District of District of Columbia were a private person to withholding in accordance with state law enacted pursuant to A1 of 666 or B also. So that means 666, okay, must be in compliance with this right here. That's why this is important. 659. Okay. So what are they telling us? Oh, let me just finish it. 666 regulations under subsections and to any other legal process. That's a word we're going to look at. Brought by a state agency administering a program under a state plan approved under this part, or any individual obligee to enforce the legal obligation of the individual to provide child support or alimony. It only applies to federal employees or uniformed services, people in the military, Coast Guard. Okay, there's actually more. Okay, it's defined. Now, we're going to go into it, but it's based off of executive order. Where is it? Hold on. Executive order should have it. Well, hold on a second. I can't see it. All right, Executive Order 12105. Delegation of authority to promulgate regulations. Okay, let me see what the hell it is in here. Yeah, it's in here. All right, so what you would, if you want to read this, you're going to go to United States Code, right? And you're going to punch in USC 659, and you're going to look up GPO. You'll see that that's where I'll put it in the description to make it easy for you guys. All right. And we're going to discover, I have it in the slides. All right. I have a lot of stuff to cover, so I got to get moving. But I'm going to prove to you that unless you're a federal employee, a member of the armed services, your court is within the District of Columbia, okay, in those other areas, other geographical location, they have no authority to seize your money. So that means the child support agency has absolutely no authority to seize your money unless you are a federal employee uh, employed by the United States or a federal agency. All right. So, all right. So, are you a federal employee or a member of the Uniformed Services? Okay. Why? Because under immediate income withholding on the 42 USC section A1 or section B, lowercase b, is applicable to federal employees, is only applicable to, as I said, uniformed services, is applicable if the employer is the United States, okay? A civil, or you're a civil officer or employee of any branch of the government of the United States, including an officer or employee of an instrumentality wholly owned by the United States. Okay. Now, 42 USC 659. This is the United States Code. Consent by the United States to income withholding garnishment. I went over that before. State citizens are not employees of the United States, okay, and are not subject to income withholding orders. All right. Is there a law that says that? Not that I'm aware of, but I am telling you, based on the information I'm providing you, it does not apply to you. Okay? United States employees or private persons with the consent of the United States is subject to income withholding. So you have to be a United States employee or a private person under their definition. So let's look. What's the definition of a private person or a natural person? Remember, we discussed that the definition of a person is not the same as a human being, as a man or a woman, a people, right? So 42 USC section 659 B4, section B, section 4, and 28 USC section 3002 section 10 definitions of a private person. Person includes a natural person, including an individual Indian, a corporation, a partnership, an unincorporated association, a trust, or an estate, or any other public or private entity, including a state or local government or Indian tribe. All right, I'm going to go state definition of state. It's consistent in 42 USC section 651 through 669B. The state includes the District of Columbia, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, Guam, and American Samoa. Okay? That's the definition of state. We went over that. What is the definition of legal process? Legal process means any writ, order, or summons, notice to withhold income pursuant to subsection A1 or B of section 666 of Title 42 United States Code, or the similar process all right, sorry. I'll try to make it a little bit bigger. Sorry. All right, nature of garnishment, which may include an attachment, writ of execution, court-ordered wage garnishment, or in the case where a child support order is submitted by a child support agency using the standard order notice, the standard income withholding order. Okay, it must be issued by a court of competent jurisdiction, including Indian tribal courts within any state, territory, or possession of the United States, or the District of Columbia. That's it. What we already defined what a state is. So if you have an income withholding order issued in your state, it's void because you're not within the geographical location. Okay, it's really that simple. Again, I'm proving it. Okay, what is the definition of the term obligor? All right, look under 5
CFR 51.102. An obligor means an individual having a legal obligation to pay alimony and or child support. Now, this is if you're not a federal employee, then you're not an obligor. That's me saying this. Okay? Because they've already told us, right, who is obligated to pay. I'm going to show you the executive order. So what they did in the executive order says that people, like, children need to be tended for, now I'm just, paraphrasing, need to be, taken care of, and the federal government, believes to be lead, like, in order to prove this, the federal government is going to lead by example by having its employees, support their children. So the employer, the United States, is going to be an example by forcing its employees to support their child or children. So somehow they included all of us, okay? The definition of court, right? 5 U.S.C. 8401, section 7. The term court means any court of any state. Now, this is the slick part. You got to be careful with the way you word things. Any court of any state, comma, the District of Columbia. They mean any of these states. So they're slick when they say any state. They want you to think that it means any state. Okay? And I'm going to show you an example. When they want it to be 50 states, they will tell you. When they cannot, they use trickery like this. Okay? Meaning any court of any state, and any state is these states right here. Okay? A little trickery, but we got you. Okay, 5 U.S.C. Code 2105, employee. The term employee has the meaning provided in Section 8101 of this title. Includes a non-appropriated fund instrumentality employee, as defined under Section 1587A of Title 10. I didn't even look that up, but I'm sure it has like the same meaning. Okay, so it said under Section 8101, so here it is. A civil officer or employee in any branch of government of the United States, including an officer or employee of any instrumentality wholly owned by the United States. We said this before. An individual employed by the government of the District of Columbia. Okay, this is more evidence that income withholding under 42 U.S.C. Section 666A1, 666B is for federal employees and uniformed armed services. Not us. That's the reason why under 659 it says consent by the United States, because the United States is the employer. So remember when I first told you guys that they use trickery by using state, and then you look up the definition of state, you find out it's not the 50 states, but it's what they define as state. They play word games. And once you understand this and you start looking for it, you find out that it doesn't apply to you. So what they did was they took 659 and then they applied it to everybody. So if you were to call, that's the reason why when an income withholding order is sent to your employer, they'll say, without actually describing a law, you are required by federal law to basically comply with income withholding order. But that's really for a federal employer, okay? It's for an agent who is designated to receive income withholding orders, a designated agent for a federal agency, for a federal employer, okay? And I'll show you now. Executive Order 120-105, delegation of authority to promulgate regulations. Section 1-101, the Office of Personnel Management, in consultation with the Attorney General, the Secretary of Defense, with respect to members of the Armed Forces, Mayor of the District of Columbia, with respect to employees of the government. Hello, there is the proof right there. Thereof is authorized to promulgate regulations for uniform implementation of Section 459, Social Security, as amended to 42 U.S.C. 659. So what happens is that they get slick, and they'll say that they have the authority on the Social Security Act. No, when it deals with Title 4D to receive federal money, it's under 42 U.S.C. Section 651 through 669 subsection B. Okay? This is a mirror of 459. Okay? So Section 1-102, the regulations promulgated by the Office of Personnel Management pursuant to this order shall be applicable to the executive branch of the government as defined in Section 461A1, okay, of the Act, but really 42 U.S.C. 661. Now, by the way, you can't find this. This is one of those, I don't know what you want to call it. You can't find it. I looked it up. It's nothing. Obviously, it must be important, but it's nothing earth-shattering that's going to do anything for us. But if you were to punch this in, you're not going to find it. You got to actually find it in the GPO, the General Provisions Office for the Governmental Provisions Office for this right here. I'll show you. That's where you want to go to get the actual law as it's written on paper, okay? All right, this is it here. Again, look up agency. All right, agency. All right, whatever. It's nothing earth-shattering there. Again, here we go. Every time I back. All right, state. State includes District of Columbia. It's consistent. All the time it's consistent. Look at this. You know what I got? See, now they're giving me a hard time. I wonder if I'm, they're watching me, because this only happens when I'm doing videos like this. When I don't have an audience, none of this stuff happens. And I'll have some creeps freezing my favorite bars to see what my favorites are. I had some people. It's hilarious. I'll have something on the screen for a second, and people will freeze it just to see what it is. I had a couple of guys find my phone number that way, and they actually called me. That's why I got to be careful what I do here. Now, if I wanted you guys to have my phone number, I'd give it to you, right? So a couple of guys had an image, okay? What do you call it? Frozen on the screen, and I clicked on it, popped up for like 2 seconds, and I closed it right away. Well, somebody froze it, and they saw my phone number, and they actually called me, 2 guys. It's like, it's amazing, some of the people. I just thought that was a little creepy. Executive order, okay, the same thing. Children, here's the part I was telling you guys, where the federal government's like, we lead by example. Children need and deserve the emotional and financial support of both parents. The federal government requires states, through them, public and private employees, to take actions necessary to ensure that monies in child support obligations are withheld and transferred to the child's caretaker. Now, but listen, see how it's a lie, right? Everybody that's been here for a while, all my all my subscribers that's been around for a while, who have done the homework, okay? And those of you that are new, just pay attention. The Supreme Court, in a case called Blessing versus Freestone, and also We Hunt versus Ledbetter, made it clear that the money taken for child support does not go to the mother, hence the child. It goes to the state for welfare recoupment. See this? You see the lies, the trickery to get your money? And I'm showing you that really you need to be a federal employee for them to even get away with this. And even then, they can't get away with it, I feel. Okay? So the federal government, through its civilian employees and uniformed services members, is the nation's largest single employer, and as such should set an example of leadership and encouragement. So they're going to be like, well, see, we're doing it, and we encourage all the private agents, all the private employees out there to do it. But they don't really encourage it. They use trickery to tell the employer, you have to do it. And then the dumb employer's like, you know what, I'm going to send the money, but you got to go to court and get this fixed. So you're screwed. I had a guy yesterday reach out to me, and it got me so friggin' pissed that this poor guy's got to go to a court to try and get this fixed, which is really hard anytime you go to a court. But all because the employer is afraid to say no, and they know this. So when you get a letter that looks like, income withholding order, it looks like it's an official court document, these employers don't want to hear shit, and it's not even, they don't tell you the federal law. They write all these other stuff on it, like 31 USC 3716, whatever, and they're not obligated to send the money. There's no law that says they have to. Okay, and it's all done on trickery. Lead by example, but really, they're intimidating people by trickery. So now, therefore, by the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, including Section 301 of Title III, United States Code, hereby ordered as follows. Okay, that is the executive order. Okay. So again, I'm showing you an example. I'm going to move forward. Requires all federal agencies, including uniformed services, to cooperate fully in efforts to establish paternity and child support orders. Have I not provided you with enough information now to show you that I'm right? Okay. Definition: a federal agency means any authority defined under 5 U.S.C. 105, including the uniformed services. Uniformed services means Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard, the Commissioned Corps of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and Public Health Service. Child support enforcement means any administrative or judicial action by a court or administrative agency of a state necessary to establish paternity or establish child support order. Remember, of a state, what state are we talking about? Now, here's an example I'm showing you. State means any of the 50 states, the District of Columbia, and the possessions of Commonwealths, Puerto Rico, Mariana. But see how they put any of the 50 states? Okay. But again, we already know that under 42 USC 651 and through 669, we already know the definition of state as they use it. Okay. And I'm gonna move on because we're getting late in the video. We're at 31 minutes already. So all right, so you're gonna freeze this. All right. Right, all I'm doing here is I'm proving to you that federal employees, okay, All federal agencies shall inform current and prospective employees. Every federal agency, the federal parent locator, it's federal parent locators. See, federal parent it's only supposed to be used for federal employees, and they use it for everybody. Cross-match for delinquent obligors. Okay, it's all like, if there are any federal employees with child support delinquencies, it's all for federal employees. Right? More proof. Proof wage garnishments by income withholding is for federal employees. 5 CFR 581.103. Monies which are subject to garnishment for personal service of civilian employee obligor. Okay, and yeah, have I proven my search? This is just me talking now. Have I not proven it? I proved it, guys. So now you have the information. You can add it to your paperwork. You notify the child support agency that you are not a federal employee and you do not have my consent. Okay, you should put it in writing. All right, but see, now what we're doing is we're sending paperwork in there, aside with the usual constitutional mumbo jumbo that we use. Now we're really hitting the mark. Now we're showing them that the authority that they claim that they have under 42 U.S.C. 666, right, is only for federal employees. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the description. I encourage you guys to look at this. It's really eye-opening. Okay. Oh, this is very, very important. I almost forgot this. Jesus Christ, forgive me. All right. This is why these effing creeps, I'm not going to use their name because they're dangerous. I don't want them focusing their energy on me. Okay. But they're dangerous. And it's not the IRS. It's another non-governmental association that really puts a hurting on everybody by undermining our Constitution and everything. A private person, the term private person means a person who does not have sovereign or special immunity or privilege which causes the person not to be subject to the legal process. Now you know why they bastardized, they criminalized sovereign immunity by calling us sovereign citizens. I just had a guy, he was jailed a couple of days ago, this poor guy, because the judge presumed he was a sovereign citizen. He had him arrested, so he, basically kidnapped, so he would pay, X amount of dollars towards his debt. And the court officer or whatever, the sheriff or whoever, told the guy as much. Okay? So I'm just showing you guys proof why it's important to assert your sovereignty. Now, in the past, I would tell you not, but we're on the mark now. We actually have the laws to back it up. We have proof. Okay. Also, you're not gonna use, if they call you a sovereign citizen. Hopefully, you're paying attention. And you're like, I don't even know what that is. I'm not a sovereign citizen. Oh, yeah, I'll show you. Try and sue one of these people. How many of you, I know a lot of my people out there, have sued these people, and you know what their defense is? They're sovereign. 11th Amendment sovereignty. So a child support agency employee, a judge, whoever, once they're sued, what do they claim? They claim their sovereignty. We have to do the same thing. And this is the reason why. Why? Because the legal process doesn't apply to us because we're sovereign. All right? All right, 36 minutes. I'm really sorry, guys, but this is a really important video. I proved to you that you have to be a federal employee in order for them to seize your money by income withholding. Okay? Again, my email is rick RICK0327 at me.com if you're interested in sending a gift to receive my paperwork. And again, I don't have anybody complain about my paperwork. They might complain it's too much, but I figure the more paperwork you have, the more options you got. One thing when you get, I mean, I'm really, you don't realize you're in a really shitty situation. You really are. And my paperwork helps you. Also, when you receive it, you have hope because my paperwork should work. Okay, and if it doesn't work, it's not because of me, it's because of the people that we're dealing with. Okay, but you still have to try. And God forbid it doesn't work, you're not, like with me, you're not out of a lot of money. Okay, not like some other creep out there that hammers people for $2,000. Okay, I would never do that to somebody. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend.